Okay, here's a painting called Charcot at the Salpetriere by Brouillet from 1887. And this is a very famous painting, and it's a big moment in medicine. Medicine was transitioning out of the old, the only treatment is a phlebotomy to draw blood, okay? And this is Charcot, very famous neurologist doctor in Paris, France, back around the mid 1800s. Okay, and he started branching out of neurology into doing what we would call at that time psychosomatic illnesses. That the woman has a condition in her mind, a thought, a woman or a man, but hysteria was sort of named after the uterus, and the implication being women are more emotional, have more of these diseases. Be that as it may, if that's true or not, this was a turning point in medicine. Up until this time, mid 1800s, usually when people wanted counseling, they would go to their parents, their friends, or the local priest, okay? And there was a transition now. A lot of that came out of Freud, who was a student of Charcot. But you can see also in this picture, Charcot had sort of bridged a little bit into hypnotism, a little bit into this idea of psychosomatic illnesses. And this patient here was having one of her emotional episodes. They call it a hysteria. And so, there's a lot of different ways to look at it. On the one hand, they were trying to apply scientific methods to so-called diseases of the mind. Okay, because before that, you could grow syphilis out of a syphilis wound on the skin and say this is syphilis. It was caused by a knowable thing. But the mind, no one could understand it. And the joke of the matter is that they still don't understand it. All that stuff about the neurotransmitter theory for dementia, for schizophrenia, none of that stuff is proven. That was all primarily a big way to sell drugs. Okay? So, I can just tell you from my experience of knowing psychologists and psychiatrists, they love this painting. And it is a turning point in medicine, transitioning into trying to apply a scientific approach to diseases of the mind, transitioning into all that stuff that followed the Freudian psychoanalysis, followed by Alfred Adler, Carl Jung, and all this stuff I just talked about in my recent video on psychotherapy. I'll link it to this talk, but it's still a beautiful painting and an interesting moment, and this is one of the best medical history paintings ever made.